Welcome to the next video in our series on the retail price comparison. This one concerns why we bother going about doing the retail price comparison survey at all. No other distributor does it, so why does Target? Well, we're going to look at that in some detail. And I'm going to make an appeal, a bit of a plea possibly, but there is some real reason behind this, because our survey does things that you could never do for yourself. So why should every retailer take part? Well, there are some pretty concrete reasons why we believe you should. So let's think about that first point. Why do we do the retail price comparison? Why we feel we should, and how we go about doing it. Okay, make no mistake, we're doing this survey not as a pure act of charity. We're doing it for sound, shared commercial reasons, and they are these. We only sell to the trade, and if you're successful, we're successful. Similarly, if you're not successful, we're not successful. So we have a vested interest in your success, and doing the comparison and price survey information, providing you that, is something that we believe is really, really important and key. But we also do it for a number of other reasons that I'll expand on in just a moment. Pricing we see constantly as a major competitive issue for you. We're ideally placed to make it happen, and we feel it's genuinely worth our investment. Let's look at each of those in turn now. So price and pricing are key issues. A few things on this. There's this mindset thing around the big chains and the fact that they've got this huge purchase price advantage that pressures on price, makes it impossible and really difficult to compete. Right, there's a home truth on this, and it is quite simply this. Yes, they have a price advantage on you, but you would be surprised at how small it is. It is genuinely only a few percentage points. The issue and what you see is that because they are such large and sophisticated businesses, they are able to operate with the principle of loss leaders. So items that they sell at very, very small or possibly even negative margin that they use and market very, very heavily to pull customers in, and that sets a pricing agenda. That sets in people's mind a sense of, that's what a laptop should cost, that's what this should cost, that's what that should cost. And that's used to bring people in. The issue is when you look at their reports and accounts, so things like companies like Maplins, for example, you can see from their report and accounts their average markup is 100%. Why is it so large? These businesses are huge. They have massive overheads in terms of their property, their head offices and so on, and they have to recover those costs. We know anecdotally that B&Q marks up by an average of 80%. So these businesses are making markups far, far greater than you are because they aren't as efficient as you are. So this issue to do with huge price advantage doesn't actually exist. They are sophisticated businesses that use a mixture of marketing and loss leaders to lure customers into their businesses. This other point here about price being the determinant factor, the only thing that matters when customers are selecting where they buy. Well, I'd be lying if I said to you that for some customers, that's the case. For some customers, price is all that matters. Some customers are quite willing to risk the fact that they'll buy this for maybe £5, and they won't worry about the fact that it might only work for the first 3 presentations that they use it for. Other customers would think, no, if I'm going to invest in something, I want it to last. And that's the point. They want to know that it'll last, and in order to be able to do that, they need reassurance that their purchase decision is the right decision. Now, can they find it in a supermarket? No, there's no one to help them. Can they find it online? Well, there might be some customer reviews, but are they genuine customer reviews? They can read the blurb on the website, but, well, the website's hardly going to say, well, we stopped this product because it's not very good, are they? So, price isn't the only determinant. Isn't the major factor in people's choices for buying. Sure, as I've said, some people yes, but the majority no. They want reassurance that what they're buying is the right thing. And that's exactly what you guys provide. And even if price competition is appropriate, and sometimes it can be, and that's why we're doing these videos, it's about finding out where you can be price competitive, it only means being cheap. It only means knocking prices down lower and lower and lower. But when you get into the subsequent videos, you'll see that that is just not the case. There are other ways of looking at price competition. There are ways of looking at price competition that mean you can still sell products at great margin and compete on price. Intrigued? Look at the subsequent videos and you'll find out what that means. And when I'm out and about, I see a lot of evidence of price setting, but not price positioning. And there is a genuine difference between these two. I see people saying, well, I price it what I think it's worth. So, I bought this for a £5. What would I pay for it? £7.50. Pricing in total isolation. The market might say that that's worth £15. Yeah? Look at the lost profit that's been made immediately on there. So pricing at what I think it's worth is not an appropriate way of looking at pricing. I see a blanket cost plus approach. I'll talk to customers about their markups, and they'll say to me, yeah, I mark up 30-40%. I've had customers on the phone when talking about completing the comparison, saying, "Oh, just take your selling prices to us, John, and add 20%. 20%! 20%! Well, firstly, that's a criminally low margin. But as I've already said, it doesn't reflect that different products are perceived to have different value in the marketplace, and that's the point, that's the issue. And the problem with blanket cost plus, it doesn't allow you to take advantage of perceived value. Yeah? There's nothing wrong with that. That's what retailing is all about. And I see the inappropriate practice of internet price matching. It's great that people are looking and finding out what the price points are. Yes, the internet exists. Yes, it makes sense to know what those price points are. But the difference in their price versus your price, is the value of your value add. In other words, all that advice and guidance you can give customers to make sure that they're making the right purchase decision, that's the difference in price. And comparing yourself with the internet strips out all of that value add and just compares you purely on price, when in actual fact, the place to compare yourselves is with other people who are just like you. And this whole issue about going out and gathering competitor intelligence. Whoa, no thank you, for a whole variety of reasons. First and foremost, it's only me here. I remember only too much myself when I was in business, the tension that I felt when I went out of the office to do some networking or even visit a customer, when I wasn't at my business doing the work that I worked so hard to bring in. It's only me here. And I understand that. But what we're effectively saying, or what people are effectively saying is I don't put a priority on going out and gathering competitor intelligence. I believe it's of more value to me to stay here doing what I'm doing, fixing computers, staffing my shop. There's this point around snoop, spy, no way, I can't do that. It's underhand, it's not fair. Well, be under no illusion. As long as there have been shops on the earth, there have been shopkeepers going out and looking at what each other's doing. It's normal practice. There is nothing wrong in tipping up at a competitor's shop and taking a look at what they're doing. Okay, some people might say, I'd rather you didn't. But this applies to this whole point about what if I get found out? Well, what if you do get found out? They might tell you to go away. Well, what do you say? Well, I came over here because you had a great reputation. I just wanted to see how you do stuff. I want to see how you lay out your shop. I was impressed by what I'd heard about you. As I say, people might say, sorry, off you go. Equally, as a customer does up in the north of England, he actually befriends his competitors and he's out regularly seeing them, giving them business advice. You see, the issue is competing against each other will only lead to one thing. Who's got the deepest pockets? The real enemy is in actual fact the big chains. There are more than enough opportunities to compete with the big chains, genuine opportunities to compete with the big chains, that you could all marshal your resources around and compete with them on. So it's better to join forces and compete with the big guys rather than fight each other. But that's a different story. And you might go out and collect all this information, but what do you do with it anyway? Because if you find out other people's prices, how does that help you set yours? So you go out and you mystery shop 2 or 3 competitors and you find all those prices are lower. So do you lower your prices to be like theirs? If you go out and find all their prices are higher, do you raise your prices to be like them? What do you do if all their prices are all around yours? Do you find the average and match that? You don't know. Because you don't know this. You don't know how good those prices are. You don't know whether that shopkeeper, that business, is just about to change those prices up or down because it's dissatisfied with those prices, or indeed the opposite, it's dissatisfied with the price that you've noted and it's about to change it. You've got no idea. You have no idea how good those prices are. And that's a point we're going to come back to. It's really, really fundamental to why our survey is so unique and why I'd urge every retailer to take part. Yet, we see regular posts on our forum, people asking each other, what do you charge for this, that and the other. Yeah? There aren't huge amounts of asks, but it's something that keeps popping up. Yeah? So pricing matters to you. A fantastic position for us to be in. We have people who say, well, thank you very much, Target, you're stocking this stick memory, whatever it is, but what should I sell it at? Well, thank you for asking. That's a fantastic position to put us in. But really, it's not our place to tell you, which is one of the major reasons why we got into doing the retail price comparison. Because if it's not for us to tell you, we could find that information out from a whole bunch of other customers and provide you with that information. And really, that was one of the biggest drivers behind doing this. We could provide retail price suggestions to you by collecting the prices of what other customers are charging for things. Pure and simple. Yeah, and price invariably pops up. It's always raised whenever I visit customers. Okay, yes, we are ideally placed to make it happen. We know what most of you buy most of, and that's a deliberate phrase in there. We use that principle when selecting the range of products that we put into the survey. Why? Because we wanted the information that the survey produced to be of most use to most people. Yeah? There's no point in us focusing down on a number of products that would only be of use to a particular part of our customer base. We try to keep it as open as possible. So yeah, we know what most of you buy because you come to our website, obviously. We've got our data information, and that's what we've used to populate the survey with. Yeah, we're a common contact for thousands of you. You visit our website. So why not, as part of that website, have a page that you could go to input all the pricing information? Pure and simple, makes the whole exercise really easy. And as I say, it fits our ethos to help you succeed. We genuinely want you to succeed. We genuinely want you to succeed, not just because we are good and caring business people. We need it for our own commercial reasons. It's a shared objective. Your commercial success is ours. We want you to be commercially successful because we naturally want ourselves to be as well. Quite reasonable, is it? And yeah, because of all of that, we genuinely feel it's worth our investment. And there's a whole list of things there that we've done to invest in doing the survey. Right through from setting the thing up, the whole process of managing invites, collecting in the data. I even got involved in ringing up customers in the closing stages, saying, well, you've only done 55 out of the 65 questions. Remember, if you don't complete the survey, you don't get the data, and your time and effort spent will be wasted. How can I help you? Making notes of prices, inputting data, all sorts of things like that. We got as many people over the line as we could. We do all the analysis, we provide the individualised report, we've got the place that you can go to download it as well. And we've also got, I exist obviously, and I can provide one-to-one support, which I do to customers. But over and above that, we've also made further investments in that we've enhanced the survey. We've now got services included, or 5 basic services included, which was as a result of popular request from yourselves. And I've gone even further. We were running workshops. We weren't running workshops, we weren't explaining how to use the information. We started running workshops to do that, and I've run several of those now. We've even now put these onto YouTube for customers who have been unable to make the journey to our offices in Castlewood. Just a plug for the workshops and a plug for these videos. A couple of things we do, and the workshops and these videos focus on. I explain the report, the detailed report to you. The information is no different to what you could read from what's called the guidance notes tab in the report, but I explain it and I illustrate it for you. But most importantly, we give you some genuine hands-on experience, and there is a video in this series that does that too, that gives you 3 examples, 3 pricing examples using real data, so you can understand how to use the satisfaction information to guide what pricing could be. And if you haven't taken part, you'll be interested in this. This is the input screen for the actual survey. You can see it there. At the bottom part, we've got the 60 generic lines most of you buy most of. And at the top part here, we've got the 5 common basic services that we've included. We wanted to keep those services as simple as possible. It's surprising, a PC health check does not mean a PC health check, or the content of a PC health check is not the same between different businesses. So it's very difficult for us to specify services at that level. That might be something we go on and improve on in subsequent surveys, but we get some basic things that we knew we could hang our hat on, we knew that would be unambiguous to people, and therefore we could use to collate and collect some good pricing information around. We then asked the questions: do you or don't you stock it or offer the service? What's a typical retail price inclusive of VAT? Why inclusive of VAT? Well, we're dealing with sole traders and we're dealing with limited companies. We need a common language that everyone can talk to, so that's why we use the retail price, effectively what the customers see, so the price inclusive of VAT, so that we're talking with a common language. And similarly, with a common language, we used a scale to indicate sales. We could have asked you for numbers of units sold. That would be one thing, possibly difficult for you to get hold of. We could have asked for the amount, pounds, that you were selling. That's business confidential information, it's not appropriate for us to sell. But either way, with both of those things, of course, we've got big customers selling thousands of units a month, and we've got small customers selling only a few. How could we compare those? How could we compare those in a way where we could draw information about what sales were delivering best satisfaction to people? Yeah, very difficult. So we used that scale there, just simply very poor 1 through to very good at 5. And it's a simple way of using a common language to talk about sales satisfaction. But that's the key in this survey. We aim for around 100 customers-ish each survey. The reason for that's simple: that gives us an adequate data set from which to draw some conclusions from. We included the comparison with the big chains, so we went out and got that information from the web, it has to be said. A couple of reasons for that. One, yes, it's easier for us to do so, but most importantly for you too, because it's web-based pricing, it'll be the most aggressive pricing, which makes any comparison to make as tough as possible, which we thought would be the best way to go about things and provide you with the most objective information when you think about your price setting. So, why every retailer should take part. So why our comparison is so very special, and what you're missing out on, the easy money. We simply do stuff you can't. Yeah? If you think about it, if you go out and mystery shop a competitor, how much time does that take? How much time does it take? Well, you've got the travel time to get there, you've got the time you'll spend in the shop looking around, you've got the travel time back, and if you're going to be doing several, you really do need to make it, even if the minimal amount of notes, just to make sure that you don't confuse what you've seen at one shop with what you've seen at another. So it's going to be a couple of hours per competitor. And that's assuming they're all on your doorstep. Well, nobody's got 100 competitors in one town, have they? You'd have to travel quite a distance in order to visit 100. In other words, it's pretty near impossible for you to collect that amount of data in any sensible form. It just wouldn't be possible. And even if you did, you can't get the sales satisfaction information. Think about it, you know. There you are, you're in the shop, pick up a product, you go up to the shop owner and you say, that's great, I can see that you're selling this for £10. Could you tell me how satisfied you are with that price? Yeah, you can guess the answer, can't you? Hop it. We can ask that. We can ask that. And we can collect that and we can provide that information to you. So a major point, piece of really important information that you could just never collect for yourselves. And just dwelling on that, you know, if you know a price, do you know how good it is? I mentioned before, you know, you've gone out, you've found a price for an item, but how long has it been, that price? Maybe it was only changed this morning, maybe it's about to change this afternoon, maybe the owner is dissatisfied with the price. You just don't know how good it is. And so, our survey doesn't just save you an enormous amount of time and give you insights you can't really get for yourself or anywhere else. Yeah? It gives you some information that's pretty much probably about the most important and useful business advice that you can get. So that you can set your prices not just by what others charge, yeah, but what performs best for them. And that's a fantastic thing. That's a fantastic thing. Because that allows you real confidence when thinking about what your prices could become. Yeah? You're not just picking out numbers from thin air, you're not just taking averages and hoping that they'll work. You're using data that says, well, in actual fact, when I look at who's most satisfied at what price, that looks like the best price. It doesn't mean you have to change it to that price, but it does give you that confidence that that's a target that probably would be worth aiming for. Okay. Any questions, any issues with what you've seen, please make contact. It's john.coulter@targetcomponents.co.uk. I also regularly tweet on a whole variety of business topics that I've selected because I think they're relevant to you, be that HMRC updates, employment law changes, social media best practices, marketing, pretty much all sorts of things. Yeah? But I always believe it will be of use to you. If you're interested in signing up for that, you can link with me through any of those social media accounts. It would be great to make contact with you. Okay? But that concludes this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next.